Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April the 14th, and I've got an update for you that's going to be very important about the class. Let me tell you what's going on. So far, CompTIA has not finalized the agreement, so we're still working on getting the agreement set up so that you'll be able to take the exam for those of you who are ready to take the exam. For everyone else, there's a lot of people who are really struggling with this material, and I'm not exactly sure if the problem is that the material is that difficult or if LearnSmart is doing a bad job explaining the material, or if you're not putting the time into studying, or if it's some combination of the three. My honest feeling is that it's probably very difficult material, and it may be that it's harder than you thought, and that the amount of time you might have thought you needed may not have been enough. I do have quite a few students who are passing and doing really well on the exam, who I would feel very comfortable having the school to pay for their opportunity to take the exam. There's some of you that are really struggling and not doing very well. So here's what I've decided to do. We're not going to try to do anything else in the class. This has been a huge learning experience for me as far as learning what I am able to do and what I'm not able to do in the LearnSmart system. For example, a lot of you have studied really hard, put a lot of hours into it, and taken the final exam multiple times. As you know, that you had to reset your work to be able to take the final exam, the practice exam. I think after the third try, you had to reset it. Well, what that does is that erases my view of all of your work. So there are several of you who have passed, but when I log in, all I see is a passing score, and I don't have any record of the amount of hours that you've spent studying. So for the future, when I do this, I will take notes and have people to take screenshots of their time studying before you reset your work. So that way I'm able to keep up with total number of hours and study time that you've put into the class. So that's something that I did not know was going to happen. I thought I would be able to keep up with that and to look at it at the end, which is what I've been banking on. So let me show you what I do see. This is one student's report, and what I'm able to see here, see it says 99.8% incomplete, but I know that this student completed it because they passed. So when I scroll down, it shows no quiz performance. None of the quizzes have been attempted, but the student made a 79.07 on the final exam, which is actually a passing grade. The passing score is a 70%. So that's all I have. But I know who the student is. I know how hard the student worked, and I know that the student put more time in than what the record is showing me. I can also download the certificate of mastery for this student. Well, let's see. No, it actually is not allowing me to download it from here, but there's another screen where I can download it because I checked. So, with that said, let me go to the syllabus, show you what I decided to do for the grade. I was going to try to include both your personal certificate of mastery score and your final exam, but some of you had to reset it. So I'm not going to be able to pull the score for your personal attempt on the practice exam. So what I've decided to do is to take your proctored score, and that's where I'll get your final grade. So it's going to be 100% of your score, but here's how I'll calculate it. If you make anything above a passing grade being a 70% or higher, that is equivalent to a 100 in the course. Anything below that, let's say you make a 65% on the Security Plus exam, that's only 5% below a passing score on the Security Plus certification. So I'm going to take 65 divided by 70, and that gives you a 93 in the class. That puts an A in the course at a 63. So if you make a 63 or higher on the certification, roughly, you can do the math to see what 0.9 times 70 is, but it's around 62 to 63 to have an A in the class. So if you scored a 60 out of 70, that gives you a B in the class. A 55 out of 70 is a C in the class. A 50 out of 70 is a D in the class. Now, the rest of the semester, I'm going to allow you to schedule times with me or with our graduate assistants to proctor you under the exam. They know how to do it. The guy's been doing it a lot. He's familiar with it. Our department secretary is familiar with it. They know that all they have to do is get you in the computer lab and let them see you start the exam, and take a note. See, I can download a report of the date that you passed or the date that you took the exam, and I'm going to make sure that that date lines up with the date that you were here for a proctored exam. For those of you that's already done the proctored and passed, you're just fine. You have nothing to worry about. You're finished. For those of you that haven't, that's what I'll need to do, is have to line up the date that you take it with the date that's on the report that I get, and then I'll take your score from your proctored exam. So that's how you're going to get your grade. But if you want the school to pay for your certification exam, for your voucher, you're still going to have to pass the exam under proctor. And I still prefer for you to pass it once by yourself, but I may not be able to get a record of that unless you save it for me. So that's what we're doing. I'm sorry that this class has been so scattered, but it was a brand new system that I was learning about and getting it all paid for. All of the timing was just messed up throughout the whole semester. Figuring out how the grades, I lost part of the system. So what I'm going to be looking for in this teacher evaluations is your feedback on how this whole process can be improved. I've done the best that I could with what I had to work with throughout the semester. So I'm looking for your feedback on how the course can be improved, what I can do different to help make this a better learning experience for you, and to provide as much opportunity as possible for you to pass and be successful. I know this is a longer update, but this was an important update, so I hope that you did take time to watch it. Well, if you're watching now, you did, so thank you for taking time to watch this update, and please let me know if you have any questions.